So hi again, Dr. Badra Hamidi with you, specialized in didactics of English and applied linguistics. This course is a little bit different from the previous one, since it is practical a little bit in comparison with the theoretical previous lessons. Staying within the same department, within the same student of psychology, the institution of human and social sciences, department of psychology, as I have said, in the University Center of Aflou. So this course is addressed to the first year and second year and third year psychology students. And it's practical because it's entitled Reading Comprehension, in which we have a reading comprehension text. So the text was distributed on the learners so that they can read it. And then the course is divided into 3 parts: pre-reading, while reading, and post-reading. Each part contains 2 activities. First part, which is entitled a pre-reading, the learners are asked to read the passage which is entitled What is Psychology? And then try to list some of the words that they expect to find in the text. Of course, these words related to psychology. The second one is a question that is concerned within the theme of the text that was discussed by the author out of reading the title of the text. So the learners are asked what will the author to expect what the author will discuss in the passage. The third one is to provide a definition of psychology. Of course, they know how to define psychology since they are in their second year and third year in this specialty, but they know that in Arabic, but try to help them to define psychology in English. And then to state some jobs that can psychologists do. So the next slide represents some keywords, of course, that have the relation within the theme and the topic of the text. We have tried to translate them into Arabic so that to make it easy for the learners to understand them. We start with the first one, which is behavior suluk, behavioral suluki. Mental processes, we mean العمليات الذهنية. Counseling, we mean نصوى استشارة. Consultation, we mean استشارة أو توجيه. Psychology, psychology أو علم النفس أو علم النفسي. Psychiatry, طب النفس أو الطب العقلي, which is different from psychology, and our learners must understand that. Biological, that is to say biology or مستحضر الإحيائي. Nervous system, that is to say الجهاز العصبي. Components, العناصر. Brain, mental, دماغ, المخ. Cognitive, which is refers to everything that is إدراكي or إدراكية, adjective. Behavioral, سلوكي or سلوكية. Subjective, that is to say or ذاتي. Specialties within psychology to give the learners some ideas of the broad range of interests or activities within the field of psychology في مجال علم النفس. The following table lists some of the different types. We have a clinical psychology في علم النفس العيادي, in which it deals with therapy, العلاج, research, البحث, teaching, writing, helping people with behavioral problems or mental disorders, مساعدة الأشخاص الذين لديهم مشاكل سلوكية or عقلية, mental disorders. Counseling psychology, that is to say علم النفس الإرشادي or توجيه, helping people with problems of everyday life such as marital problems, school problems, or family crisis. Educational psychology, علم النفس التربوي, teaching and research on teaching and learning and educational systems. When we say educational system, so it mainly deals within student pupils in different levels, mostly in academic settings such as colleges and universities. That's why we say it. School psychology, علم النفس المدرسي, and psychometrics, which is represent sometimes the same thing, testing and diagnosing gifted and learning disabled students, اللي يختص بمعالجة التلاميذ أو الطلاب ذوي الاحتياجات الخاصة, mostly in school settings. Social psychology, علم النفس الاجتماعي, teaching and research about social influences on individuals. Industrial organizational, علم النفس التنظيمي, organizational, teaching, research or program design concerning business and industry. Experiential and cognitive psychology, علم النفس الإدراكي, teaching and research on human information processing such as perception, language and memory, الذي له علاقة وطيدة اللغة، اكتساب اللغة، الذاكرة و perception. Human factors psychology and engineering psychology, theory and research about interactions between the humans and tools, equipment and systems. Community psychology activities undertaken in the community of the society to benefit the community. Developmental psychology including child psychology علم نفس الطفل or adolescent اللي هو المراهق psychology, the psychology of aging, the study of development from conception to death. As while reading activities here, we have the first part, which is entitled comprehension. So the first activity is entitled or is mainly related to some statements. Then it's the role of learner to read the text for several times and to check whether the sentences are true or false. The first sentence is psychology has one definition. All psychologists use counseling or consultation to help people. Students do not distinguish between psychology and psychiatry. A PhD is necessary for most jobs in psychology. All the approaches in the field of psychology focus on the components of the second activity. The learners are going to answer questions, of course, from the text. The answers are provided in the text, so it's the role of the learners to read the text carefully and try to answer the questions. All of them are WH questions. The first one, a question: how is psychology defined in the text? Which is very easy. What are counseling and consultation used for? How many approaches are there in the field of psychology? The second activity is a vocabulary activity in which we have some definitions. The learners are going to search for the words that are considered as best definitions for a given statement. The aggregated of the responses of reactions or movements made by an organism in a situation. A conference between two or more people to consider a particular question. Frequent consultations within this lawyer. A consultation of several medical specialists. The branch of medicine dealing with diagnosis and treatment of mental disorders involving the mind or an intellectual process. So the second activity, the second part, is a fill in gap activity in which the learners are asked to read the text again, to check the words that were underlined in red and then that are written in bold type, caractère gras, so that they can use these words in order to fill in the blanks in the following sentences, to make them coherent, meaningful sentences. The first sentence: I phoned the hospital for a medical. Some psychologists have defined an effective set of procedures for modifying human can help treat mental illnesses, emotional disturbances, and abnormal behaviors. Madness is a disease. The opposite of objective is the functions as the coordinating center of sensation and intellectual and nervous activity. Many psychologists are expert in detailed theories about psychological. They need to fill in the. The last question is a cohesion and coherence question, in which the learners are going to skim through the text again and try to find what the following words refers to. With their problems, often they fail. Many do not realize, one, the biological, how it reflects as they appear. Thank you very much for your kind attention. You will find the text published in the e-learning platform of our University Center of AFLO. I want you to try to do the tasks individually, each one alone. Try to hand them back please on the 28th May 2023, which means next week. In case you want to email me if you don't understand something or you want to ask, so my mail is written in the first slide. And thank you so much again and again. Thank you.